It is the 10th his time. Evening, it's morning here in China. See if he picks up. He answers, trying to keep him occupied. There you go, buddy. Hey, man. How you doing?
Okay.
What do you, again, with the lights? Do you have the switch to turn on your lights, or do you ask the nurse to turn off your
A
lights?
little bit of both. A little bit of both.
You've got the power on your bed to turn off the lights?
Not really.
Oh, but
No.
you call the nurse to do it for you.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Well, it seems like again, it's like I don't know your sleeping patterns. You're always a night owl, but you're in the dark. Now you just don't care though because you'll still watch TV and surf the internet in the dark.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Yeah. That's the quintessential restaurant, Jay. Is Portillo's. Do you ever order from them? Boy, could I go for a Portillo sandwich here right about now.
Yeah. I'm not. Yeah. I don't think. I'm kind of. I'm not. Great. No. Not really.
Okay. I mean, you prefer Panda Express is your go-to. That's what they said, right?
Yeah. There's a lot of things I would do first.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's very heavy. Talking to students, coaching from students around the world, they always say how big we Americans are and all of our food is big, and I agree with them. But Portillo's, it's heavy food. You have one sandwich, it's almost you're full the entire day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um,
And it's not great. It's not great. That's the problem. Yeah.
yeah. Oh, gee, I don't know. In my opinion, I love it. I mean, one of those sandwiches. It's to me as I'm getting older now. I'll be 50, right? It's just my diet. I just can't do it. I can't. When I was younger, I could polish off, a large Chicago style pizza and somehow, work that off. But now I just feel bloated. Like I just graze eating more than, than any time before. Um, so that the last hurricane, it doesn't seem as bad as that first one down in Florida, but that's another, they're still going at it politically about, the response time by government, trying to handle all of that. But my God, that state, there's for me, it's just that once your sister passes, I doubt I'll ever visit that state again. I've got obviously such antipathy for it and hatred, but it's a wild place, Florida, for sure. Um, did you ever visit Florida before going down to visit Rainey and Louie? Had you ever been down there before?
Yeah. Once or twice.
You had gone down there, yeah. But that was never your cup of tea. You prefer the West
No,
Coast.
I never was.
Yeah,
No.
right, right. For obvious reasons. Um, what else was I going to ask you? Yeah, so the weather's finally dipping off here. Not much. I'm just waiting, right? So I'm waiting on my visa and waiting on my fall schedule. To the geopolitics of everything in the world. You see, so the main students here, the international students, this is a very reputable medical school here in China, especially the northern part of China. So we do have international students. So it's the soft power cell. So many African students, and then we also have Iranian students, right? The partner with Iran and China are relative allies. Um, but there's not many, right? There's no Europeans here for geopolitical reasons, right? Because they're on NATO's side, and then there's not, there's just yeah. So it's pretty, geopolitically. I'm surprised they even wanted me, but they needed a native English speaker, and really we're all on the side of NATO anyway. Australia, England, us, right? So it's like they had no choice, and generally they like America just because they to them they they're always they're in envy or not envy or jealousy, envy, I guess, whatever term you want to use, of us, because they always want to be number one, right? Their desire to be number one. So again, we'll see how it how it spindles out here this year, But it's just interesting. I just saw some. Are you still on the side of the Palestinians versus Israel? Because boy, is that still raging.
Um, I'm kind of opposite, half and half, but I think Israel has a huge advantage.
Yeah,
With what they do in America.
right. And most of their weaponry is from us, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I just saw. I'll send that bit to you. They just. I don't know. Was it a NATO force? It was an international force. Um, like a UN, United Nations type of contingency military force that was protecting the border. And their assignment, like this is wild. I'll send this bit to you after we get off, Jay. Is that they were there to protect Israel against right, Palestinian or whatever forces, how many forces, right, Hezbollah, whatever, incursion into Israel, and guess who? And then, but Israel just bombed them from their tanks. So it's really wild over there. Um, yeah, I mean, there's got to be an end. I definitely agree with both, but I mean, Kamala. I watched the Kamala Harris 60 Minutes interview. And I mean, there's got to be an end to this. I mean, there's got to be an end to both the wars going on. It's just wild. How wars just will continue forever. It's just, um, the Ukrainian war, who knows when that's going to end? That's just madness. And then, yeah, the one in the Middle East, just you don't know. Yeah. So it's depressing, but it's like your heart goes out to all of these people, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, God, Chicago now is, always historically with a large Jewish community, but there's probably loads of Palestinian and Arab supporters right now in Chicago. So I wonder what the sentiment, yeah, what's the sentiment in Chicago?
Half and half.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Yeah. So we'll see. Yeah, we'll see whatever president, we'll see how they start handling these situations. Um, yeah, it's troubling, troubling. And you watch the news. I mean, you feel bad about, you can feel bad about your situation, everyone's situation. You feel, your own, but then you watch the destruction in the what is it, the West Bank. It's like holy shit. It's they've leveled it. Israel leveled it, Jay. I mean, all these people are just displaced and just with no money, whatever. So, anywho, I should know more in the next, by the 15th. They you never. That's the issue here. It's such a big country, so many people, and that's a big university that they can't really tell you the process, and now it's even more tricky because they don't know the process, because every country's different applying for a visa, and they haven't had teachers for 4 or 5 years, right, because the borders were closed. So I'm hoping they do the right thing and at least pay me for this last month. I've already been here coming up on a month, but I've been inactive. I haven't been able to teach because they haven't handled my visa. So hopefully that comes through on the 15th. And then I have my classes, start teaching. And then it's 3 months. So October, November, December, January, right? 4 months, right? November, December, January, 3 months. So then I've got 3 months of teaching, and we'll see, man. I don't know. It's like if I have to, I'd like to kill other birds, come visit you, right? Because it's just so cold in Chicago, man. It's the same weather as it is here. Now I understand why Louis always liked to get out during the winter, but you seem to survive it better than your father. Louis, you remember, would always go to California or Florida for those breaks. Um, so I'd like to. I haven't been to Bali. I've never been to Bali, so that's pretty. It's cheap, and again, it's just the cost. The cost, JB. It's like Bali and Thailand. It's like it's at least a quarter cheaper. At least a quarter cheaper than to stay in Chicago, and you got fun. It's warm, pleasant, etc. So anyway, all right, man. You're eating. I keep asking you at the end, though. You're eating and everything. Everything's good.
Everything's fine. Yeah, everything's good.
All things considered. And Sophie, you still see the girls, as Louis would say, Sophie and Lynn come to visit every so often.
Yeah, once in a while.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, again, you've got good staff. I know you probably don't have philosophical discussions with the staff, but boy, they're really caring, and you know, I mean, I've seen some, like I said, I've seen some really some awful places. Some retirement, some elder hospitals while in my travels. So you're very fortunate, Uncle, right? To be to be where you're at. So all right, JB, I love you. I'll give you a ring in a couple days. Hopefully, I'll know more about my schedule and everything else. So
Okay,
all
great.
right, I love you, man. All right, bye bye. He just hangs up.